Hello, and welcome back to Full Coverage Outdoors. We're back here at the Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock for round number 2. On today's episode, we're going to be talking with the fishing department. We're also going to be talking with some local anglers that have made it to the Full Coverage Outdoors Bass Pro Shops Winner's Circle. What that means is that they're local angler teams that have competed at some major events here locally in Texas that have won some major events. And so we're going to be doing some interviews, getting some lowdown on exactly what they did on the water, and just get some good fishing stories about what happened and how they won and what's happened since then. So we're going to go back inside here and set up the podcast, so stay tuned. Hello, and welcome back to Full Coverage Outdoors. We're here at the Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock for round number 2. Today's episode, we're going to be talking with the fishing department, like I said, and we're going to be doing some interviews with some local teams that have made it into our Full Coverage Outdoors Bass Pro Winner's Circle. These are guys that have fished some team trails here locally and have had some great success. So our first interview today is Lance Rebelia. Him and his partner, Cody Pratka, had a recent win on Lake Tawakoni back in May, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, Lance, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, we're here to talk about, that event, but we're going to cover some other material as well. But tell me a little bit about that day. I mean, you had some stuff you were going on, and I'm sure you've been fishing the Bass Champs Trail for a while because this was a Bass Champs event at Lake Tawakoni. So tell me how that day started and what was going on.
Yeah, it was something that was unexpected. I hadn't fished that lake in over 20 years, and my partner Cody had never fished it, so he went and practiced twice on his own, and then I went and practiced. And of all things, the areas that we found fish was the areas that we caught them in the tournament, which was, sometimes that's unheard of, but
Right.
We did not expect by any means of catching just shy of 28 pounds. So, but it was one of them days, like when you win one of these, everything has to go right, and it didn't start off that great, but then when we got the kick of everything, we started, and the first fish I put in the boat, I think it's probably 2 hours into the day, but it was probably an 8-pounder. I didn't never weigh it. And then finally, next stop 4, next one 5. We kept going on, and it kept getting good. I'm like, hey man, we got like 20 pounds. I said, this is, we're going to be in the money over here, and so then we're trying to cull out at 190, and Cody happens to go to a spot that he found, and we throw it around it, and right to the left was a little dock, and he made like 2 casts over there in the 1041 bit. So
what time of the day was this?
Golly, the 1041 was probably 1:30, something like that. And he said, it's a 10. And, you always say it's a 10. Well, no, it was a 10. It was a 1041. So at that point, I started getting nervous. I mean, like real nervous. Like, we need to get rid of that one, that 2-pounder now, because we need 30 pounds. Because I guess when you get, I got greedy.
You start thinking, if it's this easy for us, everybody's catching them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so you start thinking, I've got to get rid of one. I got to get rid of one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So y'all are going along, and y'all are starting to realize, man, it's a heck of a day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it got, like I said, I don't get nervous anymore too much, but when he caught that 10, I got really nervous because I'm sitting there in my head going, man, we got, we're going to have 28 pounds. And I said, I don't, but of course, I got beat one time. Me and Russell Parrish years ago fished a tournament. We had 32 and didn't win. So, who knows?
I've known you a long time. You fished some of the trails that I put on back in the day when we had the South 40 and all those kind of things. So you've been around the fishing, tournament trail for some time. How many years you been fishing?
I got to thinking on the way up here. Me and Johnny Snyder started fishing in high school, way before there was any high school tournaments or college tournaments. And I want to say I didn't have a driver's license. And I think Johnny somehow, I don't even think he was 16. He may have been 15. And we were fishing tournaments at Cedar Creek. So I started back probably around 1986.
Yeah.
Something like that. Been a long time.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I started with my dad back in those days. I think we were fishing, and I was probably 13 or 14 fishing some club team trails with him. But, it's come a long way since those days. But back to the event there at Tawakoni. I mean, you're sitting there and you've got this 20+ pound bag in your boat, and it's 1:30, and you've got an hour and a half left. how do you manage that time? What do you do? I mean, are you taking care of your fish? Are you trying to figure out what to do to get the next one up? I mean, what are you doing?
It was the weather hadn't got quite as hot as it is right now, but I was putting ice on the fish, and we probably should have went and tried to do something, another little spot we had, but at that point after catching that 1041, we wanted to utilize as much time as we could, so we actually didn't leave. We seen a dock here, a dock there. We fished it. We ended up catching probably 2 or 3 more keepers, but nothing to help our sack.
Right. So your total weight at the end of the day was what,
27.93.
That's a heck of a sack.
Yeah.
Almost a dirty 30.
Well, when we went in, like I said, I hadn't fished Tawakoni, and I don't keep up with a lot goes over there. If you're at Ray Roberts and you got 27.93, you're probably going to be worried. And some of our fisheries, 30 pounds is capable. Richland Chambers, another one, 30 pounds. I mean, just because, you got 28 or something doesn't mean you're going to win. So with that being said, I didn't know. So again, I'm trying to bust 30 pounds because we may need it. And when we got there, everybody got all excited. They're like, man, you may catch a 23 to 24, but apparently that was a big bag for one.
Yeah. Tawakoni's not always known for bass fishing. I mean, it's known a lot for catfish and this and that. It's kind of a shallower lake. Is that correct?
It's very shallow. In fact, from what I learned the other day, bringing it home to Central Texas, to me, it fished a lot like limestone.
I would say limestone. Absolutely. Yeah. Very shallow, lots of boat docks, things like that, some brush, shallow brush to fish. So, I'm not going to ask for all of your secrets, but kind of tell me a little bit about what was successful for y'all that day. I mean, what did y'all catch the big ones on, and what was working for you?
Man, in practice, I went over with another good buddy of mine, Dennis Smithhorse. He went and helped me practice, and we went over there, and man, I caught some decent fish on frog, stuff like that, and that's where we started, but it didn't pan out. So Cody, right around from where we had fished, again, it's crazy. We put our minds together and we ended up fishing the same stuff almost, but he had a place that he had his road bed, and it had like a rock pile on one side of it, and so that's where the big fish come. And it was nothing tricky. I mean, I was throwing a Texas rig baby brush hog, and so I got that bite, and then I want to say we caught everything on plastics, and of all things, the 1041 come on a baby brush hog also.
Nice. I mean, the fishing world has been changing quite a bit, all these techniques, all the technology. So it's good to hear some old fashioned brush hog flipping is still working out there, because, everybody's shaking the minnow, or you've got the urchin baits and the koikis and all those good things. I mean, have you tried any of those?
Man, to be honest with you, I have, and I've done it at Richland a few times, and I have yet to catch a fish on a koiki. So I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I know they bite it. I know that, you can see to where the size of the fish you catch with them is generally bigger. I'm going to dip more into it. I've just started kind of, but it's hard for me to go out there and practice with and I got bit a little bit and then say, hey man, I put it down, pick up something I'm normally catching them on and go to catching them. So it's
absolutely, it's about having time. I mean, you got to have time on the water. I mean, and you got to be disciplined. So you're going out there, and most of the time you're pre-fishing. You're looking for stuff. And to just go out there and fun fish and kind of fine-tune, do new techniques is different. So I did some of that experimenting last week, and I picked up the old koiki, and I thought, man, my son had it tied on, and it was in the boat, and I thought, I'm catching the heck out of fish in this spot. I'm going to try it. I'm going to fine-tune it. And a lot of people, I think, are trying to do the, scoping with it and this and that, and it's not necessarily a scoping bait. You can use it in places where I've been catching them on chatterbaits and flukes and things like that, and working it more like a jerk bait. So there's a lot of different ways to fish it, but that's what I've found the most success with.
And I mean, it's great on docks, also. I mean, that's something, you can skip pretty good under a dock and that sort of thing. But what amazed me about the way they're fishing, I thought it would be more like a forward-facing sonar deal, to where they're basically like dropping it over their head and shaking, which I have seen some of that. I've seen some of that at Ray Roberts in the Spawn. Some guys, actually guys that won Ray Roberts, we started by them and we watched them, and they're both up there, one with a minnow, one with a koiki kind of thing. But with that being said, it's one of them baits you have to get dialed in. But what amazed me is, if you watch a lot of them, they're catching when they're moving it away. They're working like a jerk bait, like you just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I never even dreamed that.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I was on a spot, and like I said, I was catching them on chatterbaits and flukes, and catching 1.5, 2 pounders pretty consistently, through the koiki out there, and I had a 4. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference?
It-
It doesn't look like anything they eat out there in the water, but it definitely gets a reaction out of them.
Man, I think the whole koi key deal is the ones that have never seen it, which you were probably on Lake Waco, right? Which I don't know how many koi keys getting thrown around. I do know a guy that won a tournament the other day on a koi key there.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I would think that it's something that they don't see very often, which they have seen a lot more often now since it's going to go crazy. Like I heard at Fork, they're already getting off of it, because they've seen so many of them.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's one of them things I think they're either going to crush it or they're going to run from it. So,
exactly. Well, yep. So we've talked about the event, the technology. I'm going to wrap this up here with some. So you won the event. Can you give anybody some advice about what to do when it comes to you're planning to fish one of these big events? And there's things like rules and violations, and there's things like the polygraph. Any good advice for guys that are wanting to fish at that level that they need to make sure they're protected?
Yeah, I mean the first one I would think off the top of my head is really dig in your rules. Like we've been fishing so long that we know most of the rules, but in different circuits, like Bass Champs, forward facing sonar all time. Team Trail Outdoors, you have to catch a limit before you can actually cut it on. I mean, there's all kinds of different rules going on, and then with forward facing sonar being the way it is, if something that has caught a few people, I heard, was that, if it's a trailering event, so let's say the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour and you're on Texoma, and they said, hey, you can leave the boat ramp at 5, but first cast is 6. Well, typically a guy gets to it, puts in the boat, cuts all of his electronics off. Well, you can get a polygraph test that said, hey, did you look at your forward facing sonar before first cast? And if you did, you broke the rules, because they don't want you going out there side scanning and forward facing sonar and looking for stuff before that first.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, definitely, like Lance said, whatever trail you're fishing out there, take some time to read the rules, make sure you have a full understanding. And if there's one that's questionable, those tournament directors are available to talk to. So give them a call, reach out to them, and see if you can get a good explanation to make sure that you're following all the rules and you don't get caught up in one of those polygraphs that end up violating you. I mean, I remember in the day I've had to take some people that had won an event and had to disqualify them. Which is hard to do. It's horrible stories, but it does happen. So make sure you follow the rules.
It happens more than what people think. I mean, it's especially even at the the bigger level. Your MLF and what's going on in Bassmasters. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on today.
Absolutely. Well, Lance, I appreciate your time. I thank you for coming out here to Full Coverage Outdoors. This is our second event here at the Bass Pro Shops, and today we're covering the fishing department and doing our winner's circle. And Lance was our first team to be joining the Full Coverage Outdoors Bass Pro Shops winner's circle event. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to Full Coverage Outdoors. We're here continuing our winner's circle event right here at the Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock, Texas. This is our episode 2, focusing on the Full Coverage Outdoors Bass Pro Shops Winter Circle. We got our second team that we're going to be talking about today, and it was the team of Landon Bennett and his dad, Lowell Bennett.
Yes.
I've known your dad probably 30 years.
Long time.
And I can remember when you were just running around the boat docks and the boat ramps at events. So, but you've come a long way and proven that you've been pretty successful out there. So today we're going to talk about your win. You and your dad had a win back in April on Lake Texoma. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And it was a Texas team trail?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, tell me a little bit about, that day. The practice efforts that you put into it or anything at all, and how the day was going and how it started, and kind of give me some lowdown on that.
So we went up there. It's about a 4 or 5 hour drive for us to go up there. We put it on the other side of the lake, so it was a good drive. So we didn't go up there and pre-practice at all. But Texas Team Trail, we have that dedicated practice day the day before the tournament.
Right.
So spent all day. Started off looking for a shad spawn. It goes on a little bit later up there.
Right.
And wasn't there. We ran marinas, boat slips, rocks, nothing. And
Couldn't find it.
Nope. We had to scratch that and went and tried to target some isolated stumps and brush piles, and ran into an old rock pile that I had marked from a couple years ago that I was there, and pulled up on it, saw some fish up there. Couldn't get them to bite in practice,
Oh,
but I knew they were there.
right.
Found some more isolated stumps, found a couple good ones, but didn't think it was going to be enough to win the tournament. Come tournament day, made a wild hair decision, went and started on that rock pile even after not being able to get them to bite, and ended up catching a couple good ones, and then it just died off, and we had about a 2-hour dead period where didn't catch nothing. So I was like, well, got to do something. So we went and started running some of those stumps and throwing a little urchin bait on them, and
Right.
caught one doing that, and then caught a couple roamers on that Crush City freeloader.
Yep.
Has been a big player for me the past couple of years.
Nice.
And then got a couple key bites doing that, and I think we ended up with 20 something pounds, and still going into weigh in, I was like, there ain't no shot with the dock talk of everybody catching 20, 22, 23 pounds. I was like, there ain't no way we got it. And weighed in, had 20 pounds. We were leading it. And about halfway through the weigh in, the line started getting shorter. I was like, could get a little interesting. And
Exactly.
there's about 4 people in line, and my dad turned and looked at me, and he was like, might do it. I was like, I hope so. Been a long time coming. And sure enough, they announced that scales were closed, and we got it done somehow.
Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Great story. I mean, you kind of explained a little bit about what was working for you and how it went. And at any part of the day, did you feel like, and this might win it, or did you think the whole time that y'all are just no chance?
The whole time I thought it was for sure going to take 22, 23 pounds to win, and I figured 20 pounds would have us in maybe the top 5. I figured there'd be 5 bags over 20. I did not think that we would have a shot with 20 pounds. We had, I think, just under 21, but
right. And so on the Texas Team Trail, when you win that event, what did you win?
We won a Z5 18, yes, Ranger, and the certificate. And then Johnny Matthews told me he had a good friend up here at Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock named Cliff Kettler, and so I got with him. He started talking to me about what boats he had up here and how to work the trade, and so I ended up turning that certificate in and trading up to a 520R Ranger, and Cliff and Susan, Lisa, got me all squared away, and we're rocking a Z520 Ranger now.
So. It's a pretty one. I've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. It's a gorgeous boat. And, last episode we talked with Cliff Kettler and the boat sales team, and, it's a great place here at the Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock, and they are definitely eager to work with anybody that's out there that wants a nice boat. And
they treat you like family up here, that's for sure. They get you taken care of.
Well, good. So, you've kind of been doing this tournament trail. I mean, that probably wasn't your first win, but that was probably your biggest win to date.
Most memorable for sure, being able to do it with my dad.
Absolutely. Yes. So tell me about some of the other success that you've had out there.
Been fishing a bunch of local tournaments. Been doing fairly good over there, Belton Stillhouse. And then a couple years back, me and my dad fished the Bass Champs, just jackpotted one, and won a Bass Champs with him.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty good event, but nothing compares to that Triple T with him. That was something special.
Absolutely. So now that you've kind of gotten your feet wet and you're really getting into the fishing world, what does your future look like in fishing?
Hopefully next year I can go fish the Opens.
Yeah. And
then I'm gonna try to start there and then work my way up, see what I can make happen. I am running a full-time guide now, and we're on Waco, Belton, Whitney, and Stillhouse.
And how do people find you if they need to go to book a trip?
Bennett's Guide Service on Facebook and Instagram. Just shoot me a text or DM me, and we'll get you squared away.
Absolutely. And I'll put a plug on here on the podcast. We'll put it up here down here somewhere that says Bennett's Guide Service and get a link there. So provide that to me, and we'll make sure it happens.
All righty.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to talk about? Anybody else you want to thank for your recent success, or anybody that's helped sponsoring you or anything?
No, I'd like to thank y'all for allowing us to come out here. I'd like to thank Bass Pro and Cliff Kettler and them up here. They really took care of me when I come and bought that boat and traded that boat in and got me squared away with a new one, and hopefully win some contingency money here coming up in the next couple of years. So.
Absolutely. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And, I've had the chance to compete against you on some local events recently on Lake
Yes,
Waco, and you kind of kicked my butt a few times, so that's all right. But your times are coming. I'll get a win eventually.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, thanks for joining us here on Full Coverage Outdoors. It's Landon Bennett. Him and his dad joined the winner circle here at the Bass Pro Shops Full Coverage Outdoors winner circle. So we're going to continue to do that and highlight teams like yourself in the future as winners come around, and we'll invite them onto the show to talk a little bit about what happened. So
Alrighty.
Thanks for joining us here at Full Coverage Outdoors, and stay tuned for the next episode. Hello, and welcome back to Full Coverage Outdoors. We've got our next interview here, and this is going to be part of our Full Coverage Outdoors Bass Pro Winners Circle. We've invited several teams here today to be promoted and talk about their wins that have been at some local tournament trails. We want to highlight y'all and let y'all kind of tell a little bit about your story on the water. But this is Davion Spillers. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's me.
All right. And, I've got to follow your trail, of what you've been doing digitally on social media for, I guess, over a year now.
Yes, sir.
And I've really enjoyed it. But today we're here to talk about your recent win that puts you in the winner's circle at the Texas Boat World Open. So tell me a little bit about that event and how that day went.
Man, I look forward to it all year. So this season was a bit different. They added Waco to the schedule, and that was a new lake for me. I think I fished it one time in high school, so didn't have a lot of time on the water out there. And so the first event, it was a grinder for sure. I definitely should have practiced. I put a lot of trust in the skills that I've built over the years, and so I get out there and just try to piece it together during the tournament. And it was a grinder, but we figured out how to get those 5 bites that we needed to move forward in the year. Fast forward on into the year, we get to the championship. Crazy day on Belton. We ended up having almost 22 pounds on Belton, and we weigh in, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I was thinking I was going to leave here with maybe 14, 15 pounds and just have to, do it big on Stillhouse. And then so the second day on Stillhouse, I ended up having less weight than I did on Belton, which is unheard of for me.
Right.
Everybody knows that when something hits Stillhouse, it's going to go down probably with me. That's just a place that I've become really comfortable with. And, even if I have one fish at 12 o'clock, like, I'm going to grind it out. And somehow, some way, I always figure out how to get that big bite out there. And so it just never happened during the championship. I got one big bite, and, she came off halfway to the boat. But at that time, we already had that 18 pounds in the boat. So
Right.
it was just like, well, dang, like, I can't be mad. I got to kind of press forward and just keep on going with it. And so we keep pushing forward through the day, and I'm seeing giant fish everywhere. They're just not pulling. This is like peak of it starting to really warm up, and the fish were starting to shut off late in the day. You'd have a crazy morning bite, and then late in the day they'd shut off, and so I couldn't get them to really fire. I'd see them, and they would get hot on it, and just not do it. And so we go in to weigh in. I ended up weighing in a little bit early, I believe, in the championship. Or
Right.
no, actually I did not. That was the event before that. I weighed in. We weighed in 18 pounds. There was one guy behind us that was sitting in second. No, he was sitting in third from the Belton
Right.
portion of the tournament, and he was going to take him like 22 pounds to beat us. And so he set his weight on the scale, and it ended up being like 21 and some change. And like my heart just felt like glorious. I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to win that thing so bad, man. It just kind of hush up the naysayers, to be honest. A lot of people know I fish Stillhouse a lot, but
Right.
the whole one lake narrative, I think I kind of shut that down this year. It was we fished Bass Champs. I did really well on Bass Champs. The only event that I didn't do so well on is Ray Roberts, and I plugged my boat up, but I didn't plug it into the wall, so I had a dead boat about 3 hours into it. So
That never happens.
yeah, you know how it goes. But like I said, I show up to Cedar Creek for Bass Champs. Never been there before. First time on the water. Ended up winning big bass out there with a 1060 something, and just this season I've just pieced it together and just got out on these different lakes, and it was the same thing for the Boat World Championships. I don't really spend that much time on Belton. I don't really spend that much time on Waco, but I told myself that I'm gonna win Team of the Year. Me and my partner are gonna win Team of the Year, and everybody's gonna understand that this is not a mistake. Like, I really do this, and so we did it. We blew out Team of the Year. We were the only team to have a full limit every single event, and I think we won it by over 30 pounds, or it was like 40 pounds. So you could have took away our biggest weight, which was 30 pounds in the tournament, and we still would have won Team of the Year if we would have just paid our money for the championship.
Nice. That's excellent. And you said your partner. So what's your partner's name? So we can make sure he gets a plug.
So for Texas Team Trail, my partner is Brandon Cole, and then for those Boat World Championships, it's Joshua Gibbons.
Very good, very good. And are these guys that you grew up with, or did you just meet them in the fishing world?
Joshua, I met at another fishing event, and we hit it off really well. And I didn't have a fishing partner at the time. I was just fishing with my best friend, and he doesn't really have that much time to fish. He's got a regular 9 to 5 job, so it's kind of hard for him. And Joshua, he cuts trees for a living, so he kind of can make stuff work,
Right.
move this here or there. And then Brandon Cole, I met him down at Conroe when I moved there for a little bit. Super nice guy, man, humble as could be, and we hit it off well again, and we fished well. I ended up hooking him in the back the first time we fished. Sorry about that, Cole. And we still hit it off well, man. I hooked him in the back. He still showed up the next week to fish the Tuesday nighter with me again. So I said, I guess we're gonna be good buddies if you can hook somebody in the back and they can just, all right, we'll keep on pushing forward.
There you go. Absolutely, that makes a good friend. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been hooked or hooked somebody. I mean, I've been fishing well over 40 years, and so that happens quite a bit. But it's definitely a way to build a friendship if you can survive a hook set like that.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into a little bit about your story.
Sure.
You kind of showed up on some of the local trails. Everybody was saying, oh, he's a one lake wonder at Stillhouse. And I can remember, what was it? Did you have something that you
put KFC
on?
bucket?
The KFC bucket hat.
Oh, they hate that bucket. They hate it.
I loved it.
I love it too. I love it too. I mean, if somebody hates the bucket, it's just because they hate me. So, I mean, it's just another excuse for somebody to be a hater.
That's right. So I've been a fan. So let's get a little bit about your story, where you came from and how you got into the fishing world.
So I'm from Killeen, Texas, born and raised there. I started fishing when I was like maybe 2 or 3. But, black people fish for everything. So we don't just fish for bass. We're throwing something in the water. We don't care what bites. It can be a catfish, a drum, a white bass. It doesn't matter. So
right.
I don't like sitting and I'm just always moving. I'm always trying to do something. And so my best friend, Noah, he introduced me to bass fishing. And I mean, one summer we fished on the hottest day. I think this was 2016 summer or 2017 summer. We fished on the hottest day in Killeen, Texas. It was 111 degrees. And we I went back and I looked and I'm like, my parents were right. I was crazy fishing on all day long. I mean, from 5 when the sun comes up to the sun went down, we were outside fishing. And so I started fishing the creek at about 7th or 8th grade. And then come fast forward to high school. I started fishing in high school for the Ellison fishing team for Mr. Henry Nemick. And then I ended up transferring schools. They didn't have a fishing team. I didn't fish my 10th grade year. My 11th grade year, I met another kid through my dad's job. He had a guy that had a son that was fishing. And so I got in their boat and fished with Braden and Mr. Galen for my 11th and 12th grade year. And then I fished in college for a little bit. Ended up not finishing college. Came back home. Started working at a gas station of all places. Just... I was hard-headed, man. I had to learn some things for myself, and my parents let me fall on my ass gracefully, and say like, we're here to help you, but you gotta want to help yourself, kinda. And so
right, absolutely.
I failed, but I got back up and ended up working at Texas Boat World for about a year or 2, and then I ended up moving to Conroe, working out there for about 8 months or so, selling boats out there, and that was how I met Cole. Was when I was out there selling boats. I got to see a lot of the ins and outs of the boat industry that first, year or 2 at Boat World. Just meeting a lot of, professional guys and understanding how the industry works and what it is. And so I ended up moving, went down to Conroe and applied some of those things that I learned there at Conroe. Then, it wasn't for me. So I decided to move back and come back home and, try to figure things out here. So I got hired back at Boat World. Shout out Josh Brown for taking me back.
Those are some good people.
Yes, sir. And so, I was working there for a little bit, and then that's when, things were just they were really stagnant for me, and I wanted to find that next way for me to do something in this industry. And so I'm seeing all the guys in Florida like take these pictures at the gas station with like, no offense, but like, hooder music, a little bit more African American. I'm like, well, I could probably do this like a little bit more gentrified and make this right. And so
Right.
I took a picture at the gas station, and I put some like nice classy white girl music on it, and it did well. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I said, all right, I want to try one more picture. So I took a picture at Starbucks, and it did like 10,000 likes in like 24 hours. I said, I got it. And
There
I
you go.
ran with it for about a month or two, and I blew up really big from that. And before I get that far into it, so I took the Starbucks picture. It did well, but the Chick-fil-A picture is the one that really set it off for me. That picture did like, I think in a week's time it hit 80,000 likes, and within that time period, uh, the owner of Texas Boat World ended up, not Josh Brown, but the big owner ended up firing
Right.
me and letting me go due to not wanting to be associated with it. And so I just told myself, I was like, I don't want to work another 9 to 5, and nothing to it. My parents worked 9 to 5 job. They've done everything they could to provide for me. But when you're paying on a $700 boat note and you only get to fish once or twice a week, it's so hard to be like, I was out of work for about a week or so, and I'm like, I don't want to go back and work. And so then, I was like, well, I it was just perfectly timed. Like I had started taking off on social media, and I was getting really good at fishing. So I was like, well, maybe I can guide. And so I started, posting to guide and stuff. And looking back at it, dude, if you didn't get a trip then you missed out, because I was charging like $300 for a whole day of fishing. But that was big to me. It was like,
That is.
I'll work 2 weeks and make $1,000 at Bow World. I'll work 2 times a week here and make, 2 times a week on the lake, and in 2 weeks I'll make more than what I made at Bow World, or even to it. So it's like, and I still get more time to fish off for myself. And so that was the beginning of it. Right then is whenever I first started guiding, and it was insane. And then slowly but surely the prices went up, and I've just met a lot of people through that. And I'm here now. Just coming into this year was well, I guess it was last year. It started out in July. I had stopped fishing. I stopped working in January, February, March. I was fired a week before the Bassmaster Classic, and so at that point I started guiding. And I
Right.
was fishing full time leading up to the first Boat World tournament, which was July 30th.
Right.
And me and Joshua, we went out there and we grinded it out. I'm talking about straight up grind. I had a foursome in the box at like 9 o'clock, and then we had 2 dinks. We kept our head in it, and we ended up catching another, like, I think it was a 6 pounder at right around 12ish. I'm like, okay, well, we got a shot to win, not just basing it off of what the weights had been.
Right.
And so it comes down to like the last 10 minutes, and I'm fishing this hump, and I'm not even thinking about like circling around and going to check this tree out that I like to hit over there. And Josh was just like, go to that tree. Go to the tree real quick. Like we only got a little bit of time left. Go to the tree. And so I always tell him, like, he didn't like fishing like this before he met me. But I told him, I said, you got to worry about getting the fish on and then worry about getting it out. And so I fire right into the center of the tree, and I let my minnow sink down in there, and I'm working it. And she just starts snaking up off the bottom and just tick. So I reel into her, and I turned the trolling motor on 10 and head straight to the tree. And it was like perfectly timed. Like, I don't think she knew she was hooked at that point, because she came straight up,
Exactly.
did like a little baby, just lousy, like, and then came down, but she wasn't pulling like a 7 pounder should on a spinning pole. And so before she could even dip her head back down, he scoops her as she's diving down, and we bolt over the weigh-in, and we ended up winning 1790 on Belton on 3 fish, and we ended up winning that first event. And that just kicked off the season for us, and we just kept the momentum. I just every tournament, it can start off rough, and I would just tell them, like, dude, we're gonna be fine. Like, we'll figure this
Absolutely.
out. And so that was the beginning. And then I was like, man, I want to fish more tournaments. I was just so dug off into guiding and just making good money. I'm like, well, I got time to fish tournaments
You
now.
can do
So
both.
I did. I hopped in some champs, and then Brandon was like, well, let's fish the team trails. And I was like, there's some lakes on here that I haven't fished before, but let's do it. And,
You never know until you try.
we did it. And man, am I glad that we did. Even finishing fourth in team trail, not having fished 2 of those lakes on the schedule is like, all right, I got something for you next year. Like, I see the schedule. All right,
There you
y'all
go.
going to have some trouble next year. So,
Very good. So, I know you've got a lot of followers on social media and a lot of younger generation,
Yes,
up and coming
yes.
fishermen. What good advice can you give these guys when it comes to being successful? And maybe it's not just tournaments, but just fishing in general.
I would say the key to success in fishing in general is keeping your head straight on in regular life. You're not going to be able to fish or do this at a high level or at any level if your head's not on straight. Just stay on a narrow path. It's okay to not have a whole bunch of friends. It's okay to not want to impress everybody. Just do it for yourself and focus on doing what's right and stay away from what's wrong. And you'll be successful in all parts of life as long as you take care of that right there. And then it'll make up time for you to be able to fish and do the things that you love. So, I mean, if you're young and, you really want to do this, keep your head on straight and stay away from the bull junk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great advice. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us here today on the Full Coverage Outdoors Winter Circle Edition right here at Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock. This is Davian Spiller. And any plugs that you'd like to throw out there, your guide service, how do they reach you?
I'm pretty much all over the internet. Everybody knows me as Spill. You can find me on the internet as SPILL or Davion Spiller. The biggest plug I want to give is to Big Bag Outdoors. They've been great to me. I know all y'all probably see the boat giveaway stuff. They give away boats. You buy baits, you win boats. So hopefully they'll have a Ranger or something White River Marine here soon to give away. I'm sure they will. They did that Nitro, so I'm sure they'll go back and do something White River Marine again. I think that boat did well. Shout out to Big Bag Outdoors for sure, and y'all go get y'all some Bud Balls, man. It's a game changer for the guys that can't get your hands on a Koike, man. The Bud Ball is essentially that. There's not much of a difference, and that thing works.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got a variety of them sitting over here of some of the Koike styles. You've got the Abstract, and you've got some over here that somebody brought that I think they got off of TikTok or something. I mean, everybody's trying to get in the game.
Yep.
But I definitely think that there's a certain quality that is successful.
For sure. Yeah, for the people that don't know, I'll go ahead and put you on a little bit of game right here. When you're looking for a good, urchin style bait, if you can put it in the air and the tentacles droop down by themselves, no good. Because what will happen is those tentacles won't move any water. There has to be a stiff portion, or the whole thing needs to be stiff. All the tentacles need to be stiff for it to move water to draw fish in. If there's no stiffness to it, it just looks like a wet mop. You need a stiff urchin bait if you want to catch more fish. So it doesn't matter what brand you like the most. I like the Big Bag Outdoors Bud Ball, but you need to throw a urchin that is stiff. Do not start throwing some slouchy urchin.
Good point. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Stay tuned. We've got some more interviews coming. Hello, and welcome back to Full Coverage Outdoors. We're here today again on our episode 2. We're here at the Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock. Today we are promoting the fishing department, and we have our fishing team lead, Brad Williams.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, today we're talking a little bit about the fishing department. I've done some other interviews today that really help promote a lot of the fishing stuff. We have what we call our Winter Circle. It's the Bass Pro Shops Full Coverage Outdoors Winter Circle. We had several team members coming up here that have fished some local team trails and talked about their success. And we covered a lot about different techniques that they're doing. And hopefully we've got some products here that we're going to talk about in this wonderful basket that will help promote some more gear and things that y'all are doing well with.
Yeah, the world's gone kind of crazy over one particular bait right now.
What bait is that?
Well, that would be the urchin.
The urchin bait.
The urchin bait. Yeah, the croakies or Meba, Abstract, the tumbleweed, even the fuzzy dice.
Yep.
Everybody is trying that.
Very good. And can you explain why you think that is?
First of all, fishermen get caught faster than anybody. It's an attractive, different kind of thing.
It is.
And it's working. So that's it. There's just so many different techniques to use it right now.
All right. Well, let's bring some of these out and let's talk about them.
Okay, the first one I'm going to bring out is the Abstract 18, and you can see it looks like an urchin.
It does.
And it's I think the biggest thing people are having with it is getting the rate of fall correct.
Right.
There's all kinds of things like
Lots
that.
of different styles to rig them.
Treble hooks, Neko hooks. There's all kinds of different things. There's even some custom hooks out there right now.
I've got an episode that I just filmed and released, and it's all about how to, rig it with the treble hook. And there's a couple of different weight systems that you can use.
Yeah, the nail weights. And
yeah, there's a Frico rig done by Jewel that has been pretty successful, and I'll have to show it to you.
Okay. Because I get asked that all the time. What's the best way to do this? Well, hey, YouTube.
Absolutely. There's a lot of advice out there on YouTube.
Exactly.
So that's the Abstract, made by what company?
That's 6 cents. That's 6 cents. And it comes in, I've got two different sizes here. That was the 18, and this is the 24. And you can see it's quite a bit bigger.
Absolutely. All right. And so I've got, this is the Berkeley Moeba or Moby?
Meba.
Meba. Okay.
As in amoeba.
Amoeba. So this is the Berkeley Meba. And, it resembles a lot of the, prickly pear, stuff like that. It seems to be a little bit more stiffer style. And the interview I had just prior to you, Davion Spiller, he had some advice about, when it comes to having a successful urchin style bait, he said sometimes the stiffer the better because it has a little bit better reaction in the water where the others look like wet mops. But that's definitely kind of a stiffer style that
it's been our most popular of them.
Very good. Very good. And so you've got the 6 cent.
I also have, here's another one that it's been out for a while, but we get a lot of demand for it. And that's the Flux Gill, the Berkeley Flux Gill.
Right. So it's got, it's kind of a flat with, is it perforated all the way down?
Yeah.
It looks like.
Yeah. It looks like I don't know, I guess it could be a big leech.
Yeah. So I'll get this zoomed in when we get it to the camera, but this is the Berkeley bait Flex Gill. It definitely looks a lot like kind of the profile of a bait fish, but is perforated and has a lot of holes in it that help move the water a little better, I guess.
I know. And most people fish it similar to how you would a panorama.
Yeah.
That's
if they know what a panorama is, it's one that looks very similar. It's got the profile of a fish. It's got the look of a fish. It's kind of painted in a way that looks very lifelike,
and it looks wounded.
It does
when you're fishing it.
And so, there's definitely a lot of different ways to fish those. I mean, I've seen them Texas rigged. I've seen them drop shot. There's just a variety, jig head, whatever you want.
I've seen it done every way.
I've seen it as trailers on chatterbaits.
Yes.
So a lot of different ways to fish them.
All right. Having those different kinds of things for Bass Pro Shop really helps us bring in a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got all the product here, but people need to know because I mean, it can be very overwhelming when you walk into the fishing department at the Bass Pro here in Round Rock and you see all of this gear. Where do I go? And that's why you got guys like Brad as team leads that can help guide them to those directions.
The funniest one is I usually get, well, what's a good lure for bass? And I got 5 aisles of nothing but bass lures. Exactly. And we can stay there all day.
Absolutely. And I'm sure seasonal stuff, trends can help you kind of narrow that down and what's hot on the market, what's kind of been the big thing, but the social media has definitely made a big change in how people fish.
Yeah. One of the things we do is show people different techniques, different things to do. Like for this area around here, we've got all these little ponds. Drop shot fishing is fantastic.
Right.
And some of these ponds have 6-7 pound largemouth in them. So I know one of the guys I work with, he goes fly fishing at this one right down from the store every day and comes, catches 3 or 4 fish every day.
I can remember when drop shots first came out. It was probably back a little over 20 years ago. It really became popular, but I was doing a seminar at a Bass Pro and we were on the tank and a lot of us guys were repping different companies and we all had a little side pot said, if anybody could get Flow to bite, of course we didn't use hooks or anything, but if you got a reaction out of Flow, then we won the pot. I think the pot was like $20 total after it was all said and done. But I had the drop shot that I was promoting at that time, and it's the only thing that got her to even react and open her mouth. So
Mhm.
I won the pot that day on the old drop shot.
Well, and that's why I brought this along, because like I said, a lot of people around here are the fuzzy dice
Fuzzy dice.
are also very popular. This is the Strike King Tumbleweed, but there's several others out there,
Absolutely.
and they're all very, very effective.
Very good. All right. What other goodies do you have in that basket?
This is also one of the new things going on. This is a fuzzy Senko.
A fuzzy Cinco. So okay. So it looks like a Cinco,
Mm-hmm.
a stick bait of sorts, and it has the fuzzy dice embedded into it. So, and this is a Yamamoto bait.
Yamamoto, yes.
Yeah. All right.
And I had one. I'm kind of a fly fishing junkie myself.
Okay.
I spend a lot of my time on the
Well,
sand.
there's a nice selection of fly fishing right here in the Bass
Yeah.
Pro Round Rock.
And I just thought, the amoebas run about $15. Flies can get up there too. This is just a frog popper, and it runs about $15.
All
But
right.
it is amazing in the water.
It looks like a really nice. I bet I could use it probably on some of my light gear. I've got some very nice, what we call light bass fishing gear,
Mhm.
that spinning gear that,
Well,
8-pound test.
there's a fly bubble that you can use with flies on a spinning rod,
There you go.
and it gives it a little resistance and stuff like that. But that's a way to get into fly fishing without going with fly rods and things like that.
Good idea. Excellent.
And one other thing I wanted to show you.
Yeah. It looks like you've got a nice combination here. So what is this one?
Well, this is the Carbon Light Bass Pro Shop Johnny Morris Signature Series Carbon Light. This is what I fish with.
Okay.
I've got several of
And,
them.
and why do you select that one? What makes it so special?
I just like the way it feels. The most important thing is I really like the combination with the sensitivity of the rods.
Okay.
Especially this rod right here. You can feel everything through this,
Very nice.
and
I'm gonna take a feel. All right. And it looks like it's got your braking system right here
Correct.
externally. What gear ratio is this one? This one looks like it's a 7.5 to 1.
it
yeah.
comes in 6
Carbon Light, Johnny Morris. Is this their signature series?
Yeah, it's in their signature series. Yeah, the thing about this, it's got a 10-year warranty for parts, which is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, and I mean, I know every time I go to checkout, Bass Pro Shops hits me up and say it'll flash up and say, "Do you want to purchase this certain service agreement or anything like that?" Tell me about that.
The Gear Guard.
Yeah,
the
Gear
Guard. It's for a lot of things here at Bass Pro. What it does is you actually insure your product that you're purchasing, whatever it be, and it's 2 years, and it's pretty much just bring it back, and we replace it. And if we don't have it, we'll give you a gift card for it.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
It's a pretty good deal, especially on those $200 rods.
Yeah.
And St. Croix and all of them, they have great warranties, but you got to send them back.
Exactly.
This, you just come back and get it.
There you go.
Yeah, if you're out
Just walk in
fishing
the
and you
door.
break your rod, I can run over to Bass Pro, get another one right now.
Like, come on in. I'm going to go talk to Brad. I'm going to get my replacement. He's going to help me get hooked up on that.
Exactly.
Very nice. Well, very good. Well, Brad, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Any other special gear or anything going on in your department?
Well, the most important thing, is that customer service here at Bass Pro. That's what we want to do more than anything else. We want to be your go-to place. We want to be the people you trust to tell you what's effective and what's out there. And we'd like to share what other fishermen are telling us.
Absolutely.
The great thing about doing this is I get to lie all day.
You get to tell fishing stories all day long.
Tell fishing stories, and we have so much fun here. I think that's what makes this such a cool place to work.
I agree. I mean, I've got to meet a lot of your team members here at the Bass Pro in Round Rock. From team leads to AGMs to department managers, and they've all been great. I mean, every time I walk in the door with my gear to set up the podcast, they're all very welcoming. So it's a great place here in Bass Pro Round Rock.
Yes. And I will tell you, in the fishing department, we are a little more seasoned.
That's all right. I mean, it takes a special person to be working in the fishing and marine department.
Yeah. It's, if nothing else, we stay busy all the time.
Very good. Well, Brad, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate helping.
Yep. Again, we're here at the Bass Pro Shops Round Rock. This is Full Coverage Outdoors. We're doing our episode 2. working on the fishing department and our winner's circle for all the teams out there. So, all right, welcome back, everybody. This is a wrap for Full Coverage Outdoors Special Edition here at Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock, Texas. We're going to finish it up right here in the best part of the store, the aquarium. You can't get a better view. But this store is so beautiful. It's got so much to look at, and it's just got such great staff and people. So please come out here, prepare for your fly right here at Bass Pro Shops in Round Rock, Texas, and come check out the aquarium.